Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So, today we are going to talk about Introduction to Stress, Unit 1, 2, and 3. Shall we start this session? Please raise your hands. Okay. So, this is Introduction to Stress, the health epidemic of 21st century. World Health Organization has declared stress as the health epidemic of the 21st century. So modern complexities like stress is now a pervasive because modern life is increasingly complicated by work pressure, rapid technology changes, intense competitiveness, and presently inflammation. You have noticed, petrol charges are hiked. In turn, it will directly inflate all the products or the essential things available to us. So, stress is universal. It is a natural human condition that affect people of all ages and genders. It is common for all the ages and genders. Dealing with sudden, unexpected. Let's understand each and every thing with an example. So let us assume that you're going for an interview and you have a auto breakdown or car breakdown, or maybe you're going by a bike and all of a sudden you notice that there is no petrol and there is no petrol station nearby. So you feel a severe stress at that moment. This can happen to many people at many occasions. How you perceive it is important. So think of a feeling that you are filing an application on online and internet is disconnected. What will happen to you? Acute stress is raised. Similarly, every scenario you can see stress is there and it is part and parcel of your life all the time. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of stress. 1 second. This is not acting. Okay. Yeah. Let us assume stress. Stress is a state of physical and mental tension resulting from extraordinary demands or challenging situations. Okay, Hansley, he described or defined stress as, he is also known as father of stress, and defined stress as non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. So let us understand this biologically what happens within us. Homeostasis. Stress is significant because it disrupts homeostasis, which is the body's tendency to maintain a stable internal equilibrium. If you assume stress homeostasis as a spring within our body, for the stress it elongates and automatically contrasts. Whenever stress is arised, automatically it expands. Then stress is gone, automatically it comes down to its natural position or the tension. That is homeostasis, which maintains body's rhythm, maintains the temperature, maintains the pulse rate, all these things. If tension is continuously applied to the spring, like the weight here, like stress response, wait here. What happens? The spring natural the stretching capacity of the spring is gone, and it will lose its natural retrieving back. So this is what our body's homeostasis will do. So baseline, it is nothing body's tendency towards a stable equilibrium to maintain a stability of temperature, heart rate, breathing, everything is maintained by homeostasis. So Hansley, the modern day father of stress, defined it as non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. So reasons, what are the reasons? Before going to reasons, the concept stress is a psychological pain and state of tension experienced when facing extraordinary demands that threaten to disrupt this homeostasis. Okay, we'll try to understand with examples and other things. So, how it affects? There are reasons. One is external stressor, the other one is internal stressors. What are the external stressors? External stressors are like, physical environment like noise, temperature, working in excessive hours. You might have noticed me, suffering with a lot of heat yesterday, which will, increase the stress levels. And the body's homeostasis will try to struggle to adjust that. Okay, if it continues for a longer period, automatically stress develops. Body tries to fight with the hormone situation or scenarios, which if it is adjusted, it will come about the stress situation. Otherwise, it will be struggling. Okay, and other external stressors like major life events, birth, death, job loss, medical issues, and daily hassles like traffic, expectations, deadline, so on and so forth. So these are very uh, affecting day-to-day stressors which are out of our control. And the stressors within us, lifestyle choices, insomnia, sleeplessness, poor personal habits, not having proper habits, uh, not maintaining proper habits, no physical exercise or uh, mindfulness, exercise. These things can also lead to stress and negative self-talk, pessimistic thinking, self-criticism, etc. And mind traps, personality, unrealistic expectations, rigid thinking, extremely perfection. You become extremely perfect. So, which will also in turn create a severe stress to self. Okay. So everyday experience, being stuck in a gridlock of traffic every day, and you want to attend a important meeting, but you are stuck in a traffic jam, which will definitely create a heavy stress, which can be acute or episodic. All these things we'll understand in next slides. So internal stressors, always want to become a perfectionist. This can definitely trouble you. Okay, next. Is stress always bad? Is stress always bad? No. No. So not all the stress is bad. Eustress. Eustress or good stress. This is derived from Greek. Good stress or euphoria. Energy, concentration, and social ability. So, suppose you want examinations. If you are daily preparing for the exams which are going to happen in next month, that means your eustress is very good and continuously preparing for the exam. Because stress is there, you are preparing for the exam. Okay, that is positive stress. Then distress. Dis means dissonance, which is a Latin word derived from Latin dissonance or disagreement, a direct threat to quality of life when demands vastly exceeds capabilities. What is this? We'll understand in coming slides. So it causes anxiety, loss of motivation, physical ailments, and reduce effectiveness. So eustress, to understand it with an example, eustress, the adrenaline rush and highlights focus right before playing a championship sports. Suppose you have your marriage is there in the next a week time. What will happen? You continuously prepare yourself for the marriage, and the tension which you always have until the marriage day is called eustress. If it is positively taken, eustress. Okay. So similarly, distress means it paralyzes you, sleep depriving anxiety and being buried in credit card debits. For example, you excessively purchase things and you are not able to pay them in time. What will happen? It automatically creates anxiety, because what will happen to my next purchase, or maybe what will I be able to pay my bills? This will definitely create an anxiety to your day-to-day issues. Also, you won't be able to concentrate on anything. Now, types of stresses. How many types of stresses are there? Acute stress, episodic stress, then chronic stress. Acute, it just rises and comes down immediately once the situation moves on. For example, during the what can I say? The most common form of stress is acute stress. Suppose you're coming to college and you missed a bus, and you have to attend at any cost. So you immediately think, with the stress, you think positively, and immediately you call for a auto or a book a auto, or wait for somebody, or ask a lift and reach this destination. Then this acute stress calms down automatically. This becomes a good stress. Okay. Episodic stress is something which happens in regular intervals at regular times daily. Occurs when acute stress becomes repetitive lifestyle characterized by continuous worry and hostile. So chronic stress, it is dangerous generally. It is unhealthy. It is like grinding, wear and tear happens here continuously. So we'll understand with next slides. So what is acute stress? Most common form. This is the most widely experienced stress caused by immediate demand and daily problems of life. It is short-term in nature. It can be thrilling in small doses, but exhausting if experienced too much. The same stress is for longer period, automatically it will create problems. So what are the symptoms? Emotional irritability, temporary anxiety, muscular tensions like headache, jaw pain, etc. And physiological heartburn, acid stomach, rapid heartbeat, and sweaty palms, etc. So what are the repercussions? Like healthy, highly treatable and manageable, because the physical and emotional body is allowed to return to homeostasis. So in day-to-day life, like spilling coffee on the clean shirt 5 minutes before the major interview job, highly stressful in the moment, but physical symptoms subsides quickly once the event is concluded, right? So episodic stress occurs when acute stress happens too frequently. You are having the same problem again and again. So what will happen? Acute stress occurs. Stress happens too frequently, often due to self-inflated, unrealistic demands. Self-inflated and unrealistic demands. We can understand this with two type of personality body types or types. So it is linked to personality. So frequently seen in type A personality, overly competitive, aggressive, demanding, and frequently hostile, prone to coronary heart diseases, especially these people. So they are also called the worry rats, outliers, and who see disaster around every corner, predicting that catastrophe in every situation, more anxious and depressed than hostile. So, what are the examples? You take up, we ask you to write experiments and practicals record book daily as and when it completes. But many people don't do that. They wait till the last moment or the last day. If this happens for every semester, then it becomes episodic and you will not be able to do it. And moreover, your moral values also deplete slowly. Then this is there is also a person who overschedules every single day and is chronically late and is always snapping at colleagues due to feeling rushed. Always, क्यों मुझे तंग कर रहे हो? Why are you troubling me so much? I know my schedules, but they will never complete anything as such. Now, chronic stress. One second. Chronic stress. It is also called, grinding stress. What is grinder? Grinder is which grinds everything and slowly it brings down the solid state into almost powder state or liquid state or semi-solid state. So grinding stress that tears the mind, body, and spirit apart year after year arises from unending troubles, poverty, dysfunctional families, and deprived so many things, not just one or two. So career problems, continuous career problems. So does this have solution? Worst aspect is that people get used to it, unlike acute stress, which feels new. Chronic stress is ignored because it feels old, familiar, almost comfortable. It cannot be cured. Depletes physical and mental resources through long-term iterations and difficult to treat, requiring extended medical and behavioral management. So again, an example here. Mostly day-to-day examples I have taken. Anyway, living for decades in a highly stressful, unhappy marriage life. Unhappy married life. What will happen? They want to adjust, but still they are struggling continuously, and unknowingly they're going to trouble themselves and put themselves into chronic stress. Okay. Then also living with a unsafe neighborhood. Unsafe neighborhood. Okay, this is about understanding the introduction to the stress and to summarize entire this unit. Essential stress is essential for life. A certain amount of stress is necessary for survival and acts as a spice of life. Without it, life would be dull and spiritless. Okay, managing is the key. While acute stress is manageable, chronic stress is dangerous and often requires medical and behavioral interventions. So understanding the different signs, physical, cognitive, emotional, behavioral, is the first step towards effective management. Okay. So recognizing that your frequent headaches are the signs to balance your workload and seek more stress through enjoyable activities. Okay. Now let us go into the second topic, Unit 2. Unit 2 is sources of stress. One second, I'll just change the slide. Yeah. Yeah. So now we'll try to understand what is.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, this is of which semester?
Sorry, one second. You should check it. Let me complete it. We hardly have, half an hour more. I need to complete 2 units. Okay. Source of
No.
stress. Source of stress. What are sources of stress? Where we are, what will influence you? Stress is the response to the event that threatens and or challenges a person. So, which we formally define as our response to the event that threaten or challenges us. It is important to distinguish between stress, the feeling, and the stressor, the trigger. Stressors are the demands or the pressures that tax our ability to cope. Okay. So here we will try to understand, stress is highly individual. It is not, it is highly individual. Why am I saying that? What stresses one person might be a welcome challenge for the other person. For example, imagine two people are asked to give a speech. One is terrified and negative stressors are activated. For the other person, it is an exciting opportunity to share the idea, that is positive stressor. Okay, so stress we can uh, relate it to the weight, which is not seen, which is physically going to trouble you, psychologically, physically, behaviorally, cognitively. Okay, so stress and its sources, where does they come from? It is clear that we categorize these into uh, psychological, environmental, and socio-cultural factors. These can be external, like loud construction site, the next door, and internal stressors like own self-criticism, mind traps. I've given with some examples here. Hmm. So the major factors of stress responses is perceived control. If sorry, where am I? I was talking about this, right? Okay, sorry. Socio-cultural and internal are like our own self-criticism and mind trap. These are called internal own criticism is also called mind traps. So what is the key here? The major factor in our stress response is perceived control. How we control, how do we see things? If we feel we have a choice, the stress is often lower. Okay, example, think of a long commute. Suppose you have to go 40, 50 kilometers away from your home, where your house is located in a peaceful locality and a big house, and you will enjoy the driving. Driving, definitely you will enjoy it. Think if it is forced to go there because there is no house available near to your office, then will you enjoy the drive? Never. So this is how you look at it, things, how you perceive things are different. Okay, now coming, try to understand what is physiological, psychological, personal. This is personality. Okay, personality factors. Okay, psychological personality factors. How personality acts as a filter to stress. We often talk about type A individuals, those who are highly competitive and sometimes hostile, and versus type B personality or behavior, who are generally more relaxed. We also look at hardiness, which is the sense of commitment and control that makes us more resilient to illness. So I've given definitions here. What is hardiness? A personality style characterized by a strong sense of commitment and control, frames problems as challenges, or frames problems as opportunities. Then personal control, the perception of one's ability to act on and reduce stress, leading to direct problem solving strategies. So hot reactors like, type A personality experience, thickened breathing, muscle tensions, and more easily get impulsive, making them more vulnerable to heart issues. Type A behavior or personality types. Let us understand with an example. So when in a restaurant ordered, uh, yeah, when a type A personality orders something in the restaurant and which is wrongly served, type A personality immediately gets angry and he tries to confront or fight with the person who serves them. But type B person asks for the correction and he'll definitely wait until the food is served to him. Not like type A personality. So, what are the some environmental factors which can be the source of stressors? So, stresses range from severe catastrophic or natural calamities like floods, tsunami, etc., and affect many people, to daily hassles, which are the minor iterations we face repeatedly. While one hassle is minor, an accumulation of them can lead to overload, eventually burnout. So, major event can be once or twice. It is a normal thing to these people. But what happens if regular stressors there continuously? For example, death of the loved one, divorce, so on and so forth continuously. And that can lead to piling up, stressors, and accumulation becomes burnout and prone to severe stress or burnout, and can lead to acute stress also, right? Daily hassles like traffic or broken, something you got television is, burnt out, and the next day fridge, or next day something else, etc. Continuously some or the other thing happening, then stress slowly builds up without you even noticing it. So everything becomes sedimented slowly. So burnout is nothing, a state of physical and emotional exhaustion, hopelessness, and chronic fatigue caused by graduational accumulation of everyday stressors. Or imagine nowadays everybody working with computers. You have given a slow working computer. What will you do? One day you will adjust twice, thrice. After a week, after a month, you are prone to chronic frustration and your levels of energy go down and working interest will also be gone. Then automatically, when your work capacity also goes down, stress levels automatically increase. Now, socio-cultural pressures. What is socio-cultural pressures? We cannot ignore the context of a person's life, poverty, unemployment, discrimination, and significant, these are the most significant chronic stressors. We also see accumulative stress. When someone moves to new culture, must decide, whether to blend in, that is assimilation, whether to blend in, assimilation, and to maintain their own identity, integration. So here, integration and assimilation are generally healthier way to adapt than marginalization. Marginalization is like, loss of contact with both cultures, feeling of alienation and normlessness. Okay, integrate. So these are when a person feels alienated from both the cultures, then automatically marginalization occurs and they also feel stress. Okay, now The first generation, imagine with the example, right? So in a first generation, immigrant students trying to balance their parents' traditional values at home with the very different social norms at the office or school or college. This will definitely create a stress. Now, 1 second. So, stressors from, sorry, I forgot academic, social culture. Uh, okay. Stress is like, stress is, I don't think, stress. Okay. So, stress rarely stays in one box. It usually, what happens? Spills over to the next one. Usually originates in three main areas. One is academic, family, and work. The spillover effect means that if things are tense at home, yeah, yeah. If things are tense at home, then what will happen? It is likely to affect your focus at the school or college or productivity at work. Definitely spillover is there. These areas are interconnected. A crisis in one often triggers a reaction in others. Right. So employee who has a fight with their spouse or wife or a husband in the morning, that is in family, might be irritated with the co-workers and miss the deadline later in the afternoon or the evening. So that is called spillover effect. Yeah, academic areas. For students, stress is often driven by anticipated frustration, the fear of failing or not meeting expectations. This isn't just about college. It affects younger students too, leading to panic attacks and burnouts. There's so many expectations from parents, like MSET में seat होना, to get so and so college, you have to get so and so rank. Similarly, NEET exam, uh, final board exam. Parents have so many dreams about their children. These things automatically create tension in uh, children. So teacher evaluations, so many things. Stressors include high stake exams like NEET, PG set, MSET, NEET, NET, UGC NET, UGC set exam. There's so many things, so many, where these can create a problem to student or stress student. Okay, stressors include high stake exams, social comparisons, and heavy weights. These are the heavy weights of stressors are the heavy weights of parental and teacher expectations too. Family. Yeah. Family. What are the family? So family is the primary source of both support and stress. Yeah. So family is the primary source of both support and stress. Major life event like divorce or death of the loved ones are profound stressors. However, daily transactions like child reaching adolescent also creates a conflict and caregiver distress. So economic problems, poverty, domestic violence, intrafamilial conflicts, so many. These are the some of the uh, problems I've mentioned here. Okay, financial constraint and loss of family ties can also reduce a family ability to cope up with the outside pressures. Example, a family struggling to pay for the child's extracurricular activities while also dealing with the emotional distance created by the recent divorce. Single parents are there. So many issues are going on. So these people get frustrated. Now, how about work? Work area. Work area stress often comes from what? There's so many things I've given here. unpredictable and uncontrollable situations, time pressure, workload, monotony, intrinsic factors, poor physical conditions, organization factors, role ambiguity, unsupportive bosses, office politics, lack of job security. So these factors severely impact uh, the work conditions and create stress. So role conflict especially occurs when the worker is pulled in different direction by different bosses or demands. Role conflict. So example, employee being told by one manager to prioritize quality, the another manager comes and says, I need more work, that is speed. One wants quality, the other one wants speed, creating a situation where they cannot succeed in both. Okay. So to sum it up, we'll move on to the next unit. Okay. Remember, the stress is part and parcel of human life. We cannot eliminate it, but we can manage it. Understanding whether your stress is coming from your personality, your environment, or your social context is the first step. So use your resources, both internal and internal, that is like a sense of control, center of control, and external like family support to buffer the effects of daily stressors. Okay. So instead of just feeling stressed, identify the source. If it is a daily hassle, you can change the routine. If it is internal, you can change yourself. You can change with your self-talk too. So let us move to the third unit. Yeah. So impact. Now we'll talk about impact of stresses. Impact. How much time left? Only 15 minutes. Okay. So stress is not merely a mental state. It is a systemic reaction that triggers immediate physiological, psychological, and social consequences. Physiological is body. And social is environmental, and psychological, you all know, mind related. Okay. It represents body's method to respond to any perceived threat or challenge, while the short term will help you jolt raises energy from a missed deadline can be adaptive. Continued exposure can lead to declined overall biological functioning. Okay, example, think of an athlete before a major race. That mixture of butterflies and heightened alertness is initially physiological impact of the stress. Now, what are the physiological impact of the stress? Body. Physiological is body and immediate alarm. Body's immediate alarm. What are the symptoms our body shows? Physiological stress triggers the adrenal gland to secrete hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which accelerates this one here, yeah, see, designed to adapt to fight and flight. Oh, okay, this we will all discuss. We'll discuss this. Yeah, reaction. Yeah. Okay, right. So physiologically, stress triggers the adrenal gland and secretes hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which accelerates heart rate, elevates blood pressure. Chronic exposure to these hormones can cause a breakdown in homeostasis, leading to the deterioration of body tissues, particularly blood vessels and the heart. It is estimated that 50 to 80% of of physical health problems are stress related only. Okay. So developing a frequent tension, headache, or digestive issues are like indigestion, constipation during a particularly demanding months at work. In March, many people have constant headaches because they have to meet the deadlines or sales goals, etc. So these are, adrenaline gland where these secrete adrenaline. Uh, if it is continuously flowed, then HPA axis will say secrete cortisol. And what will happen? The symptoms: sudden onset of sweaty hands, dry mouth, and a pounding chest minute before stepping onto the stage in public speech. Somebody calls you, come to the stage and speak some few words. And many people you might have noticed, many eminent personalities. I don't know how to speak. I can't speak in public. This is the first time I'm speaking, and they speak something differently, odd. After speaking for 5-10 minutes, they get adjusted to that. Then they speak fluently. So these are the epinephrine is nothing but adrenaline. Once it is released, a short term, definitely it will give you glucose to the body to meet the required energy to do the work. Symptoms you just now have read it. So if it is continuously pumped in, then it becomes negative.
Sir, what is alarm reaction?
Sorry,
Alarm reaction.
alarm.
Reaction.
Alarm means, indication. You should understand where these are the symptoms. Accelerated heart rate, elevated blood pressure. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Automatically your brain alarms, and you have to identify that alarm and act, differently or think differently so that you will decrease the stress levels. Definitely, if it persists for longer period, decreases immune system. So developing autoimmune disorders and highlighted vulnerability to infections and major issues. You might have noticed many people are prone to fevers very frequently. Such thing. Then fight or flight. Sympathetic nervous system, autonomic nervous system. It is part of autonomic nervous system where fight or flight response is activated. 1 second. This one is the body alarm. Yeah. Now, why? Yeah. Okay. So this is called HPA axis. Have you read HPA axis? Okay. So fight or flight response is a coordinated effort involving in hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenaline axis, HPA. When a threat is detected, neurons in the hypothalamus triggers a chain reaction that results in production of glucocorticoids and catecholamine. Once the stressor passes, feedback loop ideally returns to the body to a homeostatic set point. But chronic activation can strain the brain cellular functioning. If it is continuous, this adrenaline and cortisol, these are nothing but excessive sugar level which is induced into the bloodstream will cause above normal, will definitely cause severe consequences. So feedback loop will ideally return to the body to a homeostatic set point, but chronic activation can strain the brain cellular functioning. For example, an instant surge of adrenaline you feel if you trip while walking down to the stairs. You're running down on a staircase. Sometimes you may feel a sense of what if I fell down. Immediately your surge in adrenaline automatically rises, and where your body is ready itself to catch you up. Body will release those adrenaline, and it prepares you to run down the staircase safely. If you properly alarm it, activate the alarm. Now quality of the sleep will affect. So stress acts as a major disruptor of sleep by increasing alertness and causing frequent awakings, increasing alertness and causing frequent awakenings. High cortisol levels can negatively affect the hippocampus, which is a critical for memory and sleep regulation. Most cases of insomnia are linked to acute psychological and social stress. Example, waking up at 3 a.m. and being unable to fall back asleep because your mind is racing with lot of tasks for the next day. Automatically, you will not be able to sleep properly. So cortisol is more means automatically you will get up. Most probably, cortisol will be more in morning around 7:30. Between 7 to 8, cortisol levels will be very high. That is the reason everybody is asked to do some sort of physical exercise at that time. So diet, biology of emotional eating, diet and health effects. So stress increases craving to eat, often through its arousal-provoking properties. Cortisol, while useful for short-term energy, increases appetite and can lead to weight gain if elevated for longer periods. Research shows that individuals under stress, particularly women, tend to shift their food choices away from nutritious meal towards the snack type food. Okay. So choosing a sugary energy drink and a candy bar are for the quick boost during the high stress afternoon instead of eating balanced lunch. Many people think, I drink coffee, immediately my stress is gone. No, that is wrong. Having food at the right time is very important rather than shifting your triggers. Adjusting triggers is not good. Instead of that, maintain a proper routine so that your homeostasis will work properly and it maintains that biological rhythm also. Now, psychological, what are the psychological impact of stress? From the psychological perspective, severe stress prevents individuals from appropriately coping with their life circumstances, like often manifests in indecisiveness and diminished capacity to face future challenges. This mental clouding can lead to arguments or poor decisions, making that further impacts work and social life. So standing in a grocery aisle feeling that completely unable to decide what to buy for dinner because mental bandwidth has been exhausted by stressful day. Cascading followed that poor decisions organically leads to further systematic stress such as new conflicts at work or deepening financial instability. So starting blankly at the overwhelming long to-do list and feeling so entirely paralyzed that accomplished nothing at all. So what is this triple point cognitive function? And this one also, impaired stress severely impacts your cognitive and competencies. Yeah. So fundamental competencies and including concentration, short-term memory capacity, and in Yarts and Dodson's law explains that while mild stress can improve performance on simple tasks, difficult tasks are best performed under optimal stress. Performance declines sharply if stress levels go above or below that peak. So optimal stress, that is U stress, is always important. You need neither under nor above. So you need this average stress should always be there, maintained. Okay. So drawing a complete blank on the well-rehearsed fact, someone's name during the high-pressure meeting or interview, automatically what happens? Immediately, pressure triggers. Person, memory strength shared strict linear relationship with stress intensity. When you maintain optimum stress, your memory is very good. So impact of stress on emotions. Prolonged stress often can lead to vicious cycle of mood swing, irritability, and irrational fears. Negative emotional states like anger, hostility, and depression can actually suppress the immune system. For students, examination anxiety is common example where fear of failure lead to poor memory and sleep disturbances. Feeling, uncharacteristically tearful or on edge after receiving a very minor piece of constructive criticism. Somebody says, your entire presentation is good, but in sixth slide, you should have done this, or you should have used those XYZ words. Then instead of taking it positively, individuals automatically take it negatively, and it will suppress their, positive things. Emotions are completely deteriorated. Social impact, interpersonal friction, and social withdrawal. Okay. Sociologically, stress manifests. Okay, sociologically, stress manifests as a problem in interpersonal and familial relations. Individuals may experience lack of interest in maintaining social bond and feel a sense of withdrawal from mainstream life. Stress can even rewire the brain to make us more vulnerable to everyday social pressures. Example, calling at the family member over the small course because you are carrying the weight of the stressful workday, leading to tensions at home. A small thing, which is not of argument at all. You will immediately argue with the family member or a person who can't, reply to you, immediately shout. And because why are you doing that? Because the stress you are facing at your office or somewhere outside. That will definitely create the friction at your home. So highlight as it has mentioned, apathy and isolation. Overwhelmed individuals lose the necessary psychological bandwidth to establish and maintain vital social bonds. Systemic withdrawal, profound feeling of detachment from mainstream life causes individuals to pull away from support network exactly when they are needed most. Okay. Now, stressful life events. Major life changes, whether negative, like divorce, jail, etc., or positive, like marriage or moving to new house or own house, require significant readjustment and causes stress. Events that are sudden, unpredictable, and uncontrollable are most damaging and can lead to learned helplessness, where the individual becomes apathetic and withdrawn. Apathy and withdrawn. Okay. So what will happen? Sudden, unexpected, uncontrollable events can lead to learned helplessness and apathy. Leads to readjustment and strain. An intense stress involved in planning a wedding, despite being a happy event, the sheer volume of readjustment required makes it highly stress life event. What are you doing? Okay. So, okay, social support and health. Social support acts as critical buffer that moderates the effect of stress. Yeah. And aid in speedier recovery from illness. Support can be emotional, empathy, instrumental, financial, physical help, or informational advice. Simply having someone to confide in has been shown to improve immune function. Emotional support, instrumental support, or informational support. These are very important. So a neighbor being for example, a neighbor bringing over a cooked meal, that is instrumental support. When they know that you are overwhelmed by family emergency, something happened in family, and there is no one to look after you, and neighbor brings a cooked food, and automatically that is instrumental. Then let us summarize entire thing. So in summary, we can say stress is multidimensional force that grinds away at mental and physical health. It affects key system or systems including the nervous, cardiovascular, and immune system, while chronic stress can leave us vulnerable. Understanding and the importance of social support and physiological triggers can help in managing its long-term impact. Example, managing stress isn't just about relaxing. It is a holistic process of protecting your heart health, body's heart health, your brain's memory capacity, and your social connections. Okay, so I think I have utilized the complete 1 hour time. Thank you so much. See you next week. So any doubts we can talk? Hello?
Sir, is this into sixth semester?
Sorry?
Is this into sixth semester? This is nowhere into third or fourth.
It's a optional subject. I think it is section. 1 second, I'll look into this.
Sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, we are
Section
doing
1,
this topic in
psychology is section 1. It is the optional subject. I
Okay.
think it is fourth or fifth. Health psychology. 1 second.
It's a sixth semester health psychology, sir. You have said just now fourth. In unit 4, it's there.
Okay, it is 6th semester.
Health psychology, sir.
Okay. So next week we'll have other 3 topics, 3 units. Okay. See you all tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.